Welcome back. You're watching Outside. Chris Prue in the North Conway studio with Sam Trombley of Granite Backcountry Alliance. We're going to talk one of the biggest parties of the year, and it's on snow at King Pine, April 5th through the 7th. Granite Backcountry Alliance's Wild Corn Shindig. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I've got my Wild Corn apparel on, so ready to pump the event and get excited for some spring skiing.
What annual event is this? This has been going on for a few years now, right?
Yeah, so this is the 8th annual Wild Corn.
Already the 8th.
Yep, Wild Corn Backcountry Shindig. And it is a fundraiser for Granite Backcountry Alliance and our 17 Glade site network in New Hampshire and Western Maine. We're dedicated to enhancing the sport of backcountry skiing and riding through the creation of this terrain, and Wild Corn is one of the ways that we get the support that we need. Not only that, it's a huge way that we're building community and giving opportunities for people who are new to uphill to get into this, get into it.
Yeah, the entry point for backcountry skiing can be a little bit intimidating because you have to have the right gear and you're going to have someone show you the ropes. And you guys are making it easy on a number of levels. One, there's so much more terrain to experience now thanks to your Glade projects. But two, you have great events like this where experienced backcountry skiers will have a great time, and people looking to get involved in the sport will find something for them as well.
Absolutely, Chris. I think the best thing about Wild Corn is there's really something for everybody. So if you are someone who has been backcountry skiing for quite some time, it's a great opportunity just to have more of a chill day. You're not up on Tuckerman Ravine doing anything crazy, but you're listening to incredible music, you're getting some laps in, there's a ton of awesome, fun contests that you can participate in. If you're new to uphill touring and you want to demo gear that you haven't tried out before, we have dozens of vendors, dozens of brands that are going to be having gear that's available. And then there's also the music scene. So even if you're not interested in skiing that day, the vibes of the festival are an incredible reason to be there as well.
So we'll get into some specifics of each of these categories now. First and foremost, it's a backcountry ski festival. So what does that mean? You're at King Pine Ski Area?
Yeah, so we're at King Pine in Madison, so right down the road from where we are right now in North Conway. And the lifts are off. So this is an uphill mountain takeover, which on its own can sound kind of intimidating, but the really awesome thing about King Pine is it's a pretty mellow skin up. So skinning is when you're, hiking on your skis, you have a special skin on the bottom of your skis and a binding that allows you to go uphill. And it's only about 0.6 miles to the summit. So you can do quite a few laps in a day. We also have opportunities to do group tours if you're new to the sport and want to go with other folks. So yeah, King Pine is an incredible partner for this event. They really give us the flexibility and the creativity to really take this event to the next level every year.
So you've got the whole mountain to yourself as a backcountry skier, and on top of that you have clinics and demos. Touch on those a little bit more. What kind of clinics will you find there?
So we have an awesome lineup of clinics this year from 9 a.m. through the afternoon, everything from yoga, excuse me, we have yoga in the morning, which is a great way to just, kind of loosen up for the day, have a great time then. You also have Backcountry 101 with Northeast Mountaineering. We have an inclusive ski touring tour, so that's a really cool opportunity, again, to go out with a group. Whether you're new to the sport or you've been doing it for a long time, I really love IST. I volunteer with them, so really encourage folks to check that out. We have a backcountry decision-making clinic with Blake Keogh, who is a guide for Sinnet Mountain Guides here in the Valley. And that's a really, really important clinic to attend if you're interested in traveling in consequential terrain like what you see on Mount Washington, because those decisions that you're making and the thought process going into that, the planning, the prep, the moments where you're actually at the top of a line, it's pretty complex, and there is a lot to be learned. So we're really excited to be able to provide that. We also have a How to Ski Stronger clinic with Hillary McCloy, who is a physical therapist and athlete, again, from the Mount Washington Valley area, based here. So it's also really cool that we get to support and elevate these local athletes and community leaders that are doing incredible work for the backcountry.
Absolutely. Yeah, you mentioned some of the clinics, the Backcountry 101, and how to analyze the terrain when you're in consequential terrain. Obviously, this is a great opportunity to learn these things because you're kind of in the comfort of a classroom environment with an actual slope to work on. Mount Washington, obviously, things can get a little bit sketchy up there if you're not familiar with what you're doing. So great opportunity there. Let's hit the music scene because after the skiing is done, or maybe even during some of the skiing, there are some tunes. You guys have big stage bands.
Yeah, so there is going to be music all day Friday and Saturday. So Friday, the music is from 4 to 10, and then Saturday the music is from 11 to 8. And we actually have 2 stages this year, which is really exciting.
Wow.
Yep, we weren't, just one wasn't enough for us. We have our main stage, we have a second stage, and actually technically we have a third stage that's going to be at the summit of the mountain. So you really are going to be getting, that festival vibe around every turn. Pink Talking Fish is back this year as our headliner Friday and Saturday, and they came last year. They're an incredible Pink Floyd, Talking Heads, and Fish fusion act, and I personally just am remembering how great they were last year with the lights, and it was snowing at the time, and it was just one of those moments that you're kind of going to remember forever just because it was so incredible. And yeah, we're really pumped to have them back. We also have Marble Eyes, which is another jam band, and then we have a lot of bands that are local to New Hampshire, which is really cool. We love to promote the local music scene as well. We have Reckless, which is a band that is really, really popular in the Valley. Stoked to have them come out. So if you're a fan of music, if you're a fan of dancing and just having a good time, Wildcorn is definitely the place to be.
I saw photos from last year and the lights, and there was snow falling at the time. It just seemed like such a great party.
It was magical. It truly, like I said, it was a great moment.
And of course, we're talking about the Wildcorn Shindig, and that's happening at King Pine, April 5th through the 7th, put on by Granite Backcountry Alliance. Spring corn refers to the texture of the snow in the spring when it melts and it gets kind of corned up. Would you guys be okay if it's a powder day?
We would be totally fine with the powder day. We would be fine with some spring corn. We make the most of whatever the weather brings our way, and I think that's sort of part of being an uphill skier or rider, being part of the backcountry is sort of accepting those days. I mean, I went out this morning and I was expecting it to be maybe a powder day because it snowed a bit last night, but it was extremely windy, and the group that I was with, we still made the most of it, and that's what we expect and anticipate will happen at Wildcorn too. Everyone is just out there to have a good time, and this is the East Coast, we're tough.
Well, and it's great also too because you mentioned those clinics that will, teach you how to make decisions because you never know what you're going to find up in the backcountry. So just great opportunities all around. Let's talk about your sponsors that help make this happen.
Yeah, so we have a great lineup of sponsors this year. Fisher has been our title sponsor for the past couple of years. They're a huge supporter of what we do. They're headquartered, their North American headquarters are in New Hampshire. And that's the interesting thing is you see a lot of ski brands that want to be in New Hampshire. They recognize that New Hampshire, that New England is a really strong backcountry market, a really strong ski market. So amazing to have them on board. We also have La Sportiva, we have Stio, we have DPS skis. From the Mount Washington Valley, and locally we have White Mountain Ski Company, we have Stan and Dan Sports. So it's a really great group we have coming, and like I said, lots of demos available. There's also some really fun activities that our sponsors are helping us put on. So for example, Fisher is running the Cornhole Madness tournament. So even if you're not a skier, but you're a really passionate cornholer, highly recommend you come out. There's going to be big prizes for that. We have what's called the Transition Rodeo, which is a contest to see how fast you can go from uphill to downhill mode. And there's going to be a big showdown during Pink Talking Fish's set break on Saturday nights. We also have the ski joring Colonel and Cobb race hosted by Stio, and that is a really funny one where you have parents and kids. The parent is towing their child up the hill, and then the kids race down, and whoever crosses the finish line is the winner, and they both get a prize. So lots of fun
awesome
stuff.
I was going to ask about that is, who comes to Wildcorn? Obviously, if you're an experienced skier, but people who don't even ski may find themselves really enjoying the music and the festive atmosphere, and it's kid friendly.
For sure. It's definitely family friendly. We have a ton of activities for kids. So like I said, we have the Colonel and Cobb. We have a whole kids corner activity table where there's going to be face painting and creating a mural. We also have a scavenger hunt, so there's going to be a lot of prizes hidden all over the mountain. And yeah, so it's a great event whether you're coming with your family, whether you're coming with friends, or if you're just an individual who wants to meet new people, make new friends that are in the scene. The first time I went to Wild Corn before I ever had this job, I just went solo as a volunteer with the intent of, meeting new touring partners. And then I ended up getting this job. So I'll just say it's a great place to be.
To me, it seems like a combination of like Woodstock or Burning Man with backcountry skiing.
Oh
It's
my
like
gosh,
everything
the Burning
combined
Man of
into one.
backcountry skiing.
Absolutely.
We could run with that.
So much fun. Have we forgotten anything?
I don't think so. The only thing I would say is to definitely check out our website because we've really built it out a lot this year. We redesigned it to make it more user-friendly, to make sure that people can find everything they need from the activities to the clinics to the music lineup. And yeah, grab some tickets and just come enjoy the show.
Clinics, demos, backcountry skiing, live music from great bands, light shows. There'll probably be some food there, I'm sure.
Oh yes, food and drink from King Pine. We're also going to have some craft beer from local breweries that will be in attendance as well. So we've got you covered there.
So awesome. Thank you so much for joining us. Sam Trombley from Granite Backcountry Alliance. The Wild Corn Shindig is at King Pine Ski Area, April 5th through 7th. Get your tickets at granitebc.org. And I did forget to mention, but there's also lodging deals at Pure Spring, which is part of King Pine. So check that out too. There you go. Sam Trombley, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
You're watching Outside.